Museum of the 1916 at Watches and Wonders 2025. We are here with a sentimental favorite, HYT. I'm here with Vahe, the CEO. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
So, a lot of questions here. Probably one of the most interesting time-telling concepts of the 21st century. Mechanical, but also with a fluid display. I guess that was the starting point for the new series. Now, we saw the Asteroid and some of the others back in 2022, but more recently the emphasis has been on the T1 and the S1. So take me on a tour of those collections and give me a little bit of background on the design process.
What we wanted to do when we launched the T1 series, and also we were thinking about the S1 series, we wanted to have like the most wearable piece, the most comfortable piece, and also improve the readability and the comfort. So that was we had like a checklist. Asteroid was a first step into slimmer and lighter piece, but it was still big. And so we wanted to work on a more wearable design. And comfort was keyword for us when we started to draw the first sketches.
And I think that's what people really need to keep in mind, because I know when I was new to the watch industry, I would look at the diameter as it was listed and I would say, oh, well, that's a 42 or a 44 or a 45, I can't wear that. But really the shape of the lugs and the length of the lugs across is super important. And you were mentioning to me that though this is 45.3 millimeters in diameter, it's actually only 46 from lug to lug.
Correct, yes. That's why we always invite our collectors to wear and try the piece on the wrist, because we really wanted to work on the ergonomy of the case and make sure it's very comfortable. You have no horns, the strap is falling straight on the wrist, so that's a perfect fit. We really worked on the how the piece is. You can feel it on the wrist, how the piece sits on your wrist.
And I can definitely attest that the fit is excellent. So this watch right here, you know I love my greens, and the neon green is a very special color for HYTs. It was on in their initial pieces back in the 2010s. But the green actually has a luminescent element in it. So this is where I cue my guys back at home to definitely show the lume shot, because it's the payoff, trust me. So tell me a little bit about the sentimental importance of the green.
So the idea was with the S1 series, since it was also kind of bringing back the signature after last year, the launch of the T1 with the first closed die, we brought back the skeleton piece. And so we wanted to go back to our roots and bring back the first fluid that was used in the first HYT, the H1.
And so what I'm talking about here with the lume is that there's actually luminescent material in the fluid itself, not backlighting, not lume under the fluid, it's in the fluid. It's absolutely wild. What I also like here is that you really have two different takes. I think there's enough avant-garde inherent in any kind of fluid display that you don't necessarily need to reveal the full movement. So talk to me a little bit about the differences between the S1 and the T1, because dimensionally I think they're the same.
They're exactly the same. We wanted to address to different audience and work on a more traditional approach with the T1. The T1 helps us also to bring more craftsmanship, so there's a novelty this year that you can show later. And the S1 is a sportier look, so we have really, for two different tastes, developed these two faces of HYT.
Now, this black right here, this is blackened titanium, correct?
Correct.
So do you only work in either gold or titanium?
Good question. Today we have DLC, titanium, titanium DLC, titanium, beadblasted titanium, natural titanium, rose gold. But we are working for probably next year to bring more material, more exotic material.
Very cool. So variations on a theme. We've got a couple right here. Why don't we talk about a limited edition now? I believe this is a new release right here, a limited series?
Correct. Yes, that's exactly what we wanted to do with the T1 series, to use it as a platform and to make sure we can also express craftsmanship. And so we decided to make a guilloché dial limited to 8 pieces only, and that's the first T1 with kind of métier d'art.
So now it's fun to look at the different T1s we've got here. So you've got the guilloché, you've got the radial sunburst, you've got a sort of ardoise sunburst.
And you have like the vertical sanded.
Complete. Yeah, vertical, and let's see where we're going here. A blue sunburst, and we have another piece, here we go. A silver sunburst. So we have vertical satin, we have the sunburst and the guilloché, so different dials, but all solid if we're talking about the T1. Let's talk a little bit about these cases, because it's pretty fascinating how you built them with the DLC, the recesses, the alternate finish. The previous version of the company did not build cases that were this faceted and complex. Take me through the design and the fabrication.
So the design was really to work on the most ergonomic piece, and so we wanted to review as much as possible material to make sure we have the best fitting timepiece on the wrist. And we wanted to make sure we bring more watchmaking content, so it means that the decoration was also important. So we have a brushed side, satin side, and also a polished side.
And so if you remember the old H0s that had the round case, I loved them. They weren't quite this nuanced, but they fit great. This is thinner and across the wrist it's shorter. So keep in mind, this is going to wear even a little bit smaller than the H0. Another cool feature is that the company is building a huge range of strap accessories. So here we've got a combination of rubber, we've got alligator, we've got Velcro and calf skin with a ballistic textile. We've got a little bit of a darker rubber, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like you have dozens of potential colors and materials.
Correct. We had at least 10 colors of rubber, 10 colors of Velcro straps, and we launched the first strap, alligator strap, with the guilloché dial. So then there'll be plenty of options.
Yep, so if you like some Velcro style straps, you don't necessarily want to wear a moon watch with a moon watch strap, it's a great way to do that. It's a very simple system, push button release, super convenient. If you can use a car seat belt buckle, you can use this system. Now, I'm really intrigued by the idea that these are now 50 meters with a screw-down crown, because if there was one thing that was always a limiting factor on the original HYTs, with very few exceptions, it was usually that you could not take them swimming. But with a screw-down and a 50-meter rating, am I correct that you could take this in a pool, you could surface swim with this?
Yes, correct. That was also one very important element. We believe that we can use the T1 and the S1 on a daily basis, so you can wear it at, every time when you go for formal occasion or casual occasion, so you can wear it anytime.
And so in terms of some of the innovations that are inside the watch, of course we have the cam system developed for HYT by Eric Coudray.
Yeah.
It was very cool, allows the individual hours to be calibrated spot to spot based on the individual cams of the cam wheel. Can you talk a little bit about the testing process of these watches before they leave the factory, things that are done to assure accuracy and durability, just because people are going to find this a very unusual system?
Yeah. What is important is that the fluidic module is 10,000 times more water resistant than a diving watch. I'm talking about the fluidic module itself. Yes. It's very important to make sure there is no impact of the pressure or alteration in time with UV. So that's a very long process to make sure it's perfectly sealed. Then we test our timepieces like any mechanical piece to make sure it's perfectly accurate. So we have like 2 weeks test to make sure everything is perfect before releasing it to our retailer.
Oh, very cool. And then even beyond that, it's a fascinating watch because it's sort of the foundation of a new company. Now, HYT, of course, has been around since the early 2000s. There was a period where the company sort of lay fallow, and now it's a new enterprise. I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about what you're doing to reassure customers that this version of HYT is really here to stay.
What was very important is that at no point of time we stopped servicing timepieces. So we always carried over every service during the first entity and the new company. And we wanted to make sure that there was just no, let's say, stop of activities. So we continue to service any timepiece from our collection, any historical timepiece from our collection.
And so if you do have an older H1, H2, H3, and H0 in the round case, those can still be serviced today?
Correct, yes. And some of them, they were like 5 years warranty, so they're still probably under warranty.
That's a good point. Now, in terms of some of the novelties here, let's see, I don't know if we've got the S1 with the Media Blast case, but we've got video of it, so my crew at home will pull that up. Talk a little bit about the Media Blast S1 and where that fits in this year's novelties.
So we wanted to have like a very strong expression of the S1, and the fact that we can use the beadblasted technique to make sure that the case has a very matte look was also very interesting to use the red fluid to make it even stronger in terms of character. We wanted to have like a very strong timepiece.
Now, in terms of the company's current technical capability, you've got a lot of different models. What would you recommend for someone who's new to the brand? What would the entry level be? Not necessarily in price, although we could talk price, but what do you think is like the heart and soul of the company in terms of the model line?
So we have listened our retailers and our collectors, and they always wanted something wearable because we can also notice with other brands they are looking to make always smaller dials, smaller case. So we wanted, to introduce the T1 series and the S1 series as the most wearable piece. So I would suggest to go either for S1 series or T1 series to start the collection.
And let's talk a little bit about pricing now. We've got the sort of the iconic black and green with the DLC titanium and the green fluidic display. What would it cost to get into something like this?
So in USD, it's 65,500 USD, excluding tax.
And so if we're looking at one of the limited editions, like this 1 of 8 guilloché in titanium, what is the price for this? It could also be in franc if you only have franc.
No, I have in USD as well, so
Okay,
it's good. 72,000 excluding tax.
Very cool. So you get sort of a sense of the price range. Now, if you do want rose gold, what would rose gold
That
cost?
one will be also 72.
Okay, so you've got your choice. You can go with titanium with an artisanal dial, or you can go rose gold with a nice sunburst, but again, dimensionally, mechanically identical. It's just a matter of taste. And in this instance, even the price doesn't really factor. So tell me a little bit about the fluidic display system itself, because I know initially Chronode was engaged on the mechanical
Correct.
side for the Swiss lever escapement. Eric Coudray came and added the new cam system for more precise operation and setting. But you've always had this unique bellows with one containing a clear liquid and one containing the colored liquid, because people don't realize there's two liquids, they don't mix.
Yes.
Just talk a little bit about the development of this system and what it takes to make these parts, because this seems so foreign to watchmaking.
So the company Preciflex, our sister company, developed the system of the fluidic module. What was important is to find something that can last for years and years. Always pressed every 12 hours at the same pace, at the same with the same energy, and we had to find a supplier in the US, a NASA partner specialized in speed sensors, that they use this part in also spaceships. So that was also very important to make sure we have a very reliable component to diffuse the liquid inside the capillary.
So you've got and I guess it's almost a foil, like it's a foil designed to resist metal fatigue because the two reservoirs get pumped up and down non-stop day
correct.
after day. So it goes from the foil type reservoirs, which are shaped like bellows or accordions, and then through a system of cams, it's forced through this borosilicate tube, and it's actually two fluids playing against each other with the meniscus being the separation point.
Yep.
And I also love that you've kept the luminescence. So I know you guys at home, you want to see what the lume looks like. It's good. We've got shots of that. All of these things are explosive, super luminova, and then beyond. I would say more supernova than super luminova. So very cool. So where can people find you, Vahe, if they want to learn more about the brand? You've got a website. Do you have social media as well?
Yes, we have Instagram, TikTok, website, and also we have authorized retailers across the US or around the world.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate that.